We actually created a brand new page that looks so incredible that I just saw yesterday. It's called hiddenbeach.com/AlBSure, ALBSURE.
That's the one with the YouTube video on it as well?
Oh, yeah. You know, what's fun is that, everything is on there, from my Twitter to, you can follow me around the world, to Twitter, to the MySpace, to Facebook. And also, you can pre-order the album, you can buy the single, you can do, you can basically have an entire AlBSure experience. But all I'm doing is basically taking all of the experiences that I've had over the years from working with everyone from, like I said to you, from remixes, whether it's Rod Stewart to Robert Palmer to Quincy Jones. I mean, everything I've learned in a nutshell is in this album, in terms of from harmonies to melodies and to lyrical content. And I just wanted to make something organic and fun for people to embrace. And I think, for the most part, I wanted to apologize because I was joking about it on the radio and here in America, and I was saying that I wanted to apologize to the public because most of the artists, you know how we are. We love music, so sometimes we'll pull a little bit from the light bill or pull a little bit from rent to go buy your favorite album, and okay, I'll find it somewhere else.
Landlord doesn't appreciate that very much, does he?
Oh, absolutely. That's a common theme. That's why it's important that you buy the records from the right place and not get the bootleg version. But at the end of the day, because we love the music so much, and I was apologizing for some of the other artists because what has been happening as of recent, the economy is pretty tough. Here in America, we have a brand new president, President Barack Obama, who's doing everything in his power to fix everything. I mean, he's been left a huge mess, as you know.
Oh, yeah.
But he's doing the best he can, especially his first 100 days. He's done more than any president of the United States, that's been in existence, since the country, to the inception of the United States. So, I mean, we're really proud of him here. But at the end of the day, back to the music, we basically wanted to apologize for those who are having the consumers kind of waste their money, because you buy most of these people's albums, and what happens? You have one or two songs you can hear, and the rest, you can't listen to the rest of the album.
It's been going on for too long like that.
Absolutely. So we're just trying to change the trend, and specifically product that comes out of Hidden Beach, because it's all organic and because it's natural, and it's like nature taking its course, embracing music that you can really enjoy and live with, and that actually is effective in your life because it's something that you can truly attach yourself to and relate to, as opposed to, and I guess for me personally, I think it's an album that is a perfect gift for men. So when the men get home and they show up at the door with this particular album, I think their night will be just a little bit easier.
I don't think the females as well. But now going to the women, on the women's side of it, like I said to you, it's a communication tool, but it's also something that you can enjoy. But for the women, for the most part, I think they can enjoy this particular album because they can finally have an entire album where they're not being called a B or an H or whatever, some of these artists are referred to women as. And why not just enjoy that? Why can't you sit down and just enjoy something that you can just truly have a good time in several different ways? I know we're probably on family radio, so we can't say too much, but at the end of the day, family was created somehow, right?
Exactly. The family was created somehow. So.
When you're singing on this album, are you singing to anyone special?
You know what? Absolutely. It's the strangest thing. I will channel. A lot of times what I'll do is when I'm writing songs, I think the strangest thing, number one, I'll give you a little bit of a tidbit. I cannot write a song sitting down.
No way.
Meaning that if I'm sitting like in an office or in my room or what have you, I can only write a song while I'm in motion. So I have to write while I'm in the car. So to avoid from getting arrested from trying to operate a cell phone.
I drive with my knee and I've got my
Exactly. I drive with my knee and I got a pad and I'm doing that. I just saw this clip on CNN with this bus driver who was driving the bus from New York to Philadelphia, reading the newspaper, eating peanuts, and so I don't want to get in trouble that way. But for the most part, I bought a little recorder that I just keep with me, and I just basically just enjoy myself and pick it up every once in a while and come up with a melody or lyric and just recite it into the recorder, and that's how I remember the things, once I get to touch bass. But
a lot of the independent artists, in fact, I would say 99.9% of them have home studios that they're making their music from. That is about as organic as you get. Do you have any other? This has been really interesting to hear that you write songs in motion. What about when you take it into the studio? What types of quirks have you got when you're there?
I would say it's just that before I go in and actually start to lay anything down, like I said to me, at the end of the day, it's all about the song. It's not necessarily about the technology, because even just doing the first album, we didn't have much technology, not in terms of what was available, but what we could afford. because my cousin and myself, Kyle West, we were in the basement and we just we took my uncle's organ, and I had a 4-track that I got to working at McDonald's or wherever I was, and we just wound up, we put it on top of the pool table. Of course, my uncle had a cow when we ripped the cloth on the pool table, but I think he's okay with it now. We would just create the music, and we would create the music, and we would make these cassette tapes just to kind of cruise around New York City, and we'd have something to listen to, because my oldest cousin, Milo West, which is Kyle's bigger brother, he's the one who had the license, so we were too young to drive, and we would just kind of just make this music to drive around, and then people started to hear it, and just really started to say, why don't you guys do something? We were like, do what? This is the stuff we make to go to the arcade, so that was the inception of it. And in terms of radio, the way that started, the radios, I used to attend a church in New Rochelle, New York, called Bible Way Church, when there was Bishop Odell Lyerly. He actually helped me with teaching me the engineering, and we built the booth, and so I was able to record the sermon and record the choir, and I used to bring it to the cassette. I would mix it and bring the cassette to this AM station in New Rochelle, New York, and do all the announcing and stuff. So that's kind of how that started from there.
Wow. So what about your parents? Were they encouraging you to go further with your music, or were they hoping that you might go to college and get a real job?
Oh, absolutely. Well, my dad was in the Coast Guard, and for the most part, he's now does nuclear medicine, and my mom is actually an ordained minister. But of course, my mother definitely wanted me to pursue the school route, and first I was going to go to the Coast Guard, I was going to do that, and then when all was said and done, this guy named Quincy Jones called and said, "Go west, young man," and I think I had to listen to Mr. Quincy Jones and follow my dreams. But for the most part, they were very supportive of my dreams. And it's the hardest thing to do when you look at your parent and you say to them, I'm going to write a song and I'm going to eat.
Yeah,
They do look at you like you have 3 heads and 7 legs. But, at the same time, they really supported what I wanted to do. And I think it all came to a head when I had my grandmother and my dad and mom and everybody all at Madison Square Garden. When I'm playing to 20,000 people, and my mom just looked at me like, wow. And then I was just waiting for her to tell me, okay, take the garbage out, because that never changes.
So for your album, Honey, I'm Home, what's happening for you next? Are you going to be touring? Can we go see you somewhere?
Absolutely. I'm going to probably head on. I've been doing promotional tour. Like I said to you, what we can do is you can actually go to hiddenbeach.com/I'll Be Sure, and we'll have all of the information of doing television appearances, and we'll have clips up and interviews and all this stuff. Even like our interview, we'll make sure we have that up there so you can hear it, after we're finished. It's just a matter of I want to be in touch with everyone, and I miss everyone. And it's funny because you'd be surprised about how many different walks of life have been touched by this music. Just like I've been touched by all this eclectic mix of artists from, like I said, Pat Metheny to Johnny Mathis to Stevie Wonder. I love all types of music, and to travel around and to have an older Asian woman, or a Persian person, or a person of African American descent, or a person of all these different walks of life have approached me and just come up to me and shared a story with me about how my music has affected them. So hopefully I nailed it with this album, that I can revisit my entire family, across every culture. Anyone who's interested in having a relationship should probably get the album.
I think that's probably everybody in the world. I have a few really quick questions for you, because I can't believe how fast this interview is going. Is I'll Be Sure your real name? And if not, what is your real name?
Actually, it's Albert. But see, I like the way you say Albert.
I'll be sure. That's pretty cute, because when you say it fast, it's like, I'll be sure. I'll be sure. It's like a subliminal message.
It's like one word. No, but it's funny when people talk to me, or people see me in the street, they say the whole name. Albert. Some people will call me Albie, but I'll be sure.
But
so,
what would you say?
It's one word.
What would you say makes you tick? And you can't answer music.
What makes me tick? The simple fact that we have the gift of breath. Every morning that I wake up, I am so thankful that I actually woke up, because where I'm from, and my very humble beginnings, I know many situations and many circumstances that people are born into and stuck with, and my life could have gone in any direction. But I, like I said, I'm just truly grateful for being able to wake up and breathe God's good air every day. So that's what really makes me tick, and that's kind of my motivation.